Hi there, I'm Fox 13 meteorologist Nash Rhodes with an update on what's happening in the tropics right now. We're currently keeping tabs on 3 areas of disturbed weather out there in the middle of the Atlantic and one a little bit closer to home in the western Caribbean and sections of the central Gulf of Mexico. That one we'll be talking about here in just a moment, but let's first talk about the 3 disturbances farther to the east. The 2 to the north each have low 10% chances to form within the next 7 days as they continue to lift farther to the north and look very unimpressive, I'd say, on infrared satellite imagery. Our latest runs from the Fox model and many other models showing that these are still not going to be an issue for us as they'll move to the north and then likely fade away as they travel back to the north and east away from the United States. And either way, if the one to the east were to get a name again, it would be Gordon. If the one to the west would get a name, it would be the next name up on the list, which could potentially be Helene. Either way, we're also watching one other area just off the coast of Africa. A tropical wave emerging off Africa over the next few days will have a shot to form within this yellow shaded region as it now has a 30% chance of forming, up from the 20% that it had this morning as that tropical wave enters into, again, a more favorable environment with slightly lower shear. The European model here showing that development as this passes west of the Cabo Verde Islands. And once it does so, we'll be watching for the potential for it to form. Long-range models still showing, though, that will likely eventually take a turn back to the north. But we have a long time to keep an eye on that one. Closer to home, here's that disturbance that we've been talking about the past few days. Up to a 60% chance that we get a named system out of this, but over the next 2 days, near a 0% chance, as this is going to be something that we watch after the Central American gyre first forms and potentially spawns this. The Central American gyre is a seasonal feature, a large area of low pressure that we watch around this time of year to form. And as it does so, we'll be watching for more focused areas of low pressure to form within it that could become a tropical storm or hurricane lifting into the Gulf of Mexico. Heading into next week, this is the setup. High pressure to the east, a sharp dip in the jet stream that's keeping a lot of that tropical moisture farther south. But over the next few days, that's going to lift farther to the north, and that Central American gyre will continue to grow. More deep tropical moisture will get ushered in from the Pacific, and this is what we're going to be watching carefully to see if we do indeed get development. You can get the idea here. We can get organized areas of low pressure to form any which way within this broader low. That's one of the difficult things about forecasting this particular system. It depends on where this forms as well as a variety of other factors to dictate where it would eventually go. What we do know is the odds are continuing to rise that we're going to see something form out of this. That's why the National Hurricane Center is starting to bump up those numbers and percentages. But what we still don't know is where this would ultimately head. We have 2 schools of thought here from 2 prominent forecast models, the American and the European model. The American model right around 5 a.m. here on Thursday showing a slightly more organized and faster system heading into Thursday morning here north of the Yucatan Peninsula. Meanwhile, the European model's latest forecast run showing a little bit more of a disorganized system trying to get its act together on the west side of the Yucatan Peninsula. Each of these eventually pulling north at some point. But again, each of these showing various locations for a potential landfall if this were to form on the Gulf Coast. And from that point onward, that's more speculative than actual fact. So we're going to continue to monitor the trends and keep you up to date. For now, it looks more likely a system will form, and check in day by day just to see if we have more of an update as to the likelihood of this system developing. You can find out more data here or at myfoxhurricane.com.